Hello and welcome to Coffee, AI, and True Crime. And today we're going to talk about Wondercraft AI and how you can use it to create podcasts without ever turning on a microphone. Sounds cool? I think so. Let's get into it. All right. Now, to begin this, I'm going to tell a story. Once upon a time, there was a murder. It's a tale as old as time. Jealousy, rage, greed. True crime is as old as mankind itself. Just ask Cain and Abel. Now, true crime podcasting, however, that's new. Well, newer than murder is, but it's huge. In fact, true crime podcasting is at the top of the charts. And in 2023, it was the number one category in podcasting. In fact, if you need some true crime in your life, this is my favorite. In fact, it's called My Favorite Murder. It's strange because you find yourself laughing at the incredibly gruesome things. But, I mean, it's worth a listen because these two hosts are very, very funny. So I highly recommend this one. Now, as you guessed it, the theme of this is going to be true crime. We need a formula. How exactly do we get true crime to work? Well, first off, we need to research some sort of crime. The stranger, the better. And then we need to learn everything about it. And then we need to retell it in a mysterious way. Easy, right? Sounds like the perfect formula. However, it's a challenge because there's a lot of moving parts. Do you do it documentary style, narrative style? Do you interview people? Do you use found clips? What if I could tell you that you could create a true crime podcast without a microphone or without even needing to depend on a microphone or a co host or any podcasting equipment at all? And you can. And you can do this with this really neat tool called Wondercraft AI. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to create true crime podcast faster than it takes to brew a cup of coffee. It's super fast. In fact, it's oh my gosh. And then when you get the clone voices, AI is getting incredibly cool and creepy at the same time. We'll get into all this, okay? Yeah. Who am I? Howdy, I'm Kyle Imbondo. I'm the founder and mad scientist of Once Told, a podcast education and technology company. And welcome to my laboratory. I'm a podcast veteran and I'm a PodFest veteran. I've been podcasting for 8 years and I've created dozens of podcasts. And my current experiments are War Yankee, an American Civil War podcast about Grant's overland campaign in 1864. Talk about niche, right? And that's at waryankee.com. Or Not Easily Squished, a podcast where I talk about podcast design and audio design at noteasilysquished.com. But of all my experiments, I've never done a true crime podcast. You would think, it being top of the charts, that would be something I should probably have in my portfolio. But first, in order to do that, you need a crime. But not just any crime, a true crime. So no worries, I have a very strange crime already picked out for us. And our true crime is going to be about dun 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 the Georgetown Starbucks murders of 1997. Yes, that's very specific. So, why this crime? Well, it has all the hallmarks of a very interesting case. First, it has a homicide, and it takes place inside a Starbucks. Yeah, since the dark roast is kind of a play on words, then, of the whole coffee themed and murder investigation. But not only that, it's a triple homicide. So it has the serial killer vibe to it as well. And one of the people killed, get this, they interned at the White House. Ooh, political intrigue, right? And it was such a bizarre case that it left the police stumped for months. They even had to call on the FBI, and the FBI was stumped until they got a tip. They kind of broke the case open. And the killer was at large for over a year. So naturally, I will call this podcast Dark Roast. I mean, come on. It 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 just screams. I mean, the Georgetown Starbucks murder, Dark Roast. This is the perfect logo for this podcast. So, the Georgetown Starbucks murders has everything: murder, mystery, suspense, intrigue, all the things you need for a good true crime podcast. You with me? Okay. So, how are we going to build this thing? Well, we're going to use a tool called Wondercraft AI. And Wondercraft AI is an audio studio tool that uses text to voice technology. Seems simple. The result is a unique voice speaking your words, the words you wrote in your script, or even the notes, or you could even point it at articles. And it puts a real person reading this voice into those words as if they're actually doing it, but they're not. It's a computer. It's a type of audio magic. It's a kind of magic. Yes, we get a little Queen in there too, right? Okay, how does it do this? Well, Wondercraft has a ton of features, and of course, this is not a commercial, but maybe I should get an affiliate code for this. It starts with an AI script assistant. It helps you take those notes and build a script if you don't have one. It's kind of like a chat GPT built into the tool itself. Is it good? It's okay. Think of it more like a helper, not a writer. It's an intern that can't get you coffee. That's irony. It can also clone your voice. Now, this is the creepy part because we're going to get into this in a minute. The cloning of your voice. Wow, I did not expect this. It was kind of surprising. No, it wasn't kind of. It was surprising. So you be a judge on how accurate it sounds, but I was surprised. In fact, I let my best girl listen to it, and she says, it kind of sounds like you. That's really creepy. It also has a ton of templates, so you don't have to start from scratch. Ready-made voices already baked into even the free plan. It has music you can use. Plenty to dig in. If you're curious about the neat tricks Wondercraft can perform, you can really go into the weeds on what this can do. We're just going to talk about a few things, though, when we do this. And so, how do you get into Wondercraft AI? Well, you have to get an account. And when you get an account, you're going to have to either pick the free or the paid. And if you pick the paid, it could be monthly or annually. It's about between $29 and $34 a month. Or you get the pro, which is $109 a month. It's a lot. The pro comes with a whole bunch of other whiz bang gadgets, a lot of cool things. And we'll get into that too, because the pro, I didn't realize what the pro came with until I got into voice cloning. And that's where the pro kind of takes the next step. So once you have that, you're going to have your script, either the pieces of your script or some of your research, articles you can point to, and you're going to need to so you do a little homework. You're going to pick your voice, you're going to add some music, and it produces an actual MP3 file, which is pretty good quality. And you upload it to your host, the host like once told, and you share it with your RSS feed as if you would do any other podcast that you record. It's really that simple. Now, I remember I said no microphone. You're going to see how this works without a microphone. And we're going to do 3 tests. We're going to do 3 tests where we're going to have Wondercraft do everything for us. We're going to have a lazy podcaster version where we just pointed at articles. And then we're going to have a couple examples of some of the power podcasting, the voice cloning, like I said before. All right, let's get into this. So the first test is the AI voice audio. Now, when you open the interface, you're going to see a lot of things go on here. And the first thing it's going to do is, hey, give me some content. What the heck are we doing here? So you're going to put your script in there, and you can either put your script in there or have Wondercraft do it for you. So right now we're going to have Wondercraft do everything for us. So I'll start with my trailer script for Dark Roast, Death, and Coffee. And we can ask Wondercraft to edit this script for me or not. I've had it right here. You see the Ask AI button. You can have it do some editing for you. It's like I said, it's an acquired taste. And then you're going to pick an AI voice, a preference. So I picked the British guy, Dominic, because he sounds like a documentary voice, the Masterpiece Theater guy. And then you apply Dominic AI's voice to all the segments. And here I have 3. So all I've done is written some words. I've picked a voice. And now I'm going to apply some music to it. So I choose the suspense keyword at the top, and that gives me the more true crime feel to it. And I apply this. So I picked Nazca was one of them I picked. I like the 10th Strings, Mysterious Science. They're all really good music. And just like with the AI voices, you can adjust the music where it starts, where it stops, how the volume in the background. And then you apply that to the segments. And because of the trailer, we'll apply this music bed to the entire script. And then you hit produce track. That's it. So I hit publish, and in about 60 seconds, I turned it into an MP3 file. And so this is the Wondercraft free plan, where it gives me 4 credits a month and roughly 3 minutes of audio, and the trailer only took 1, and it cost me 1 credit for about a minute and 18 seconds, a minute and 30 of sound. Now, that was the first draft. Now, the devil's in the details. I needed spacing between segments. The words kind of jumbled together. Uh, it wasn't very smooth. The script was kind of clunky, so I had to make some edits, shorten some sentences, tighten up some words. I didn't like the transitions between things. The AI sometimes mispronounces words. You find out pretty quickly how bad of a speller you are when you hear the AI pronounce things like trilling instead of thrilling. So that's how you do everything. You get AI to work for you, and then so I'm gonna go back into the edit, and I have to go ask the AI. Ask, hey, can you write this better for me? And sometimes it doesn't sound too bad. So then you go and say, let's add some 2 seconds in between tracks, get some space and breathing room between thoughts. And each version exposes how bad your writing and punctuation is too. And then you reproduce this. Now, the trailer I came up with took me 7 tries until I finally got it. But 7 tries in 10 minutes. Bing! The coffee pot was ready. So I just made some coffee. And if you want to hear the full trailer that I created, I'll have a link at the end of this that will give you access to the full trailer. But I just want to play you a piece of the trailer so you be the judge and tell me what you think.
When employees arrived to work for the morning shift at a Georgetown Starbucks in July 1997, no one expected to find 3 of their fellow baristas brutally slain. With the doors locked, no money taken, and no obvious motives, police had little to go on. That was until a break in the case turned a sinister triple homicide into the search for a serial killer at large in the nation's capital. Introducing Dark Roast, Death and Coffee, a true crime podcast that delves into the enigmatic circumstances surrounding the Georgetown Starbucks murders.
So that is a AI voice. That's Dominic, with a music bed behind it of music that I chose from Wondercraft AI and a voice I chose from Wondercraft AI, where I hit publish of words I wrote that produced me a trailer. That is very cool. Now, if you are doing this as like a weekly show, congratulations. You just replaced 50% of the bad podcasts out there, and you could do this once a month for a very short show 4 times a week. That's pretty cool. So that is the how you do it with Wondercraft doing everything. Now let's get on to test 2, AI-driven audio. And this is where we're going to create an episode from articles. And really, it is, again, templating. Now that we have a project, here our Dark Roast project in the AI interface, we're going to pick like a daily news rundown. We're going to summarize some articles. So we're going to pick a couple articles. So I have some Washington Post articles that talk about this crime that happened in 1997 and some article summaries and some advancements in the case in 1999 when they finally caught the guy. And in the AI scripting tool, all I did was, hey, single person commentary. I want it to be professional and formal. I want it to be a duration about 3 minutes. And then I gave it 3 URLs. And that's it. These are 3 Washington Post articles. And I told it, now if there's additional information there, that's where you can put a prompt. So you can put in there like cover the latest Starbucks murders news in an engaging way, or you can put in some more. I kept having to fight the AI because it wanted to put in coffee puns over and over and over again. And at first I was like, it was resistant, like, oh, come on, man. But then the coffee puns, they weren't so bad, right? So, but if you have an article source that is hiding behind a paywall, it has trouble with that. But it summarizes posts and then it pushes out a draft script. Does it do your job? It's okay. All right. And again, you do like before is because you're a lazy podcaster, right? You define your parameters, voice, music, tone, length. You start making your edits. You do your revisions. You Then you lay out your layout is all crafted. You hit publish or produce, and in the free plan, 3 or 4 minutes of audio, and you're doing pretty good. So what does this one sound? I'll give you a little taste of what this sounds like. And this is again AI driven. We'll skip ahead a little bit because
Welcome to
I had the
System.
beginning sound the same.
In the previous episode, we recounted the morning of July 7th, 1997, where three young Starbucks employees, Mary Catherine Mahoney, Emery Allen Evans, and Aaron David Goodrich, were found brutally murdered in a back room of the coffee shop just north of Georgetown. The doors were locked, no money was stolen, and two different guns were used, resulting in a community rattled by possibility of two or more gunmen loose in Washington, D.C.
All right, so that is an episode it created by pulling in articles. Now, you can either do a summary where you say, here are 3 news articles of the day, and you want to do a more of like a news type program. But like I think Hacker News Recap does this, and I'll put a link in there too. But Hacker News Recap does this with articles. You could do this too. So you could summarize articles and use it as an episode, or you could take other articles and make it into a newscast if you wanted to. You'll notice in there that the sound doesn't sound right at certain times. The segues are weird. The fluctuations in the voice are strange. Uh, you start to hear that you start to get an AI ear. You start to hear the sounds that aren't quite right. But does it do a pretty good job? Yeah, and if you're not paying attention, you might not know the difference. So let's get into the third and final test, the cloned audio. And this is where this is where things get weird. Okay. So this time it wants a sample. So you're gonna make Wondercraft work for us. And this you have to use the paid plan for this one. I think it's either $34 or $39 a month. And Wondercraft has to use our script. So I don't want any more rewrites. It's gonna be our script now. Only it's gonna use my voice. So I uploaded a file, and the uploaded file goes into Wondercraft as 60 seconds or 10 megabytes, which is not a lot. That's a tiny file. So I had a War Yankee trailer that I gave it, and then there were some other files I've played with. I played this a lot because quality matters. The cleaner, the better. The more you enunciate, the better you sound, the better the clone will be. And it's weird because you use crappy audio and the audio will sound strange. The clone will sound strange. Use good audio and it sounds good. Makes sense. Garbage in, garbage out, right? So when you upload the voice, it takes a minute, and what Wondercraft has to chew on it. And once it chews it out, it'll spit you out right there. So you see there's Kyle is now added. Now, because it says here, you'll notice it says tone and accent. And tone and accent are things you can create sad or happy or excited. You can change the inflections and voices. It is not perfect, not by a mile. And the accent, it can be British, American. You can change your voice into British or Australian or something like that. You can't do that unless you have the pro plan, which is $109 a month. Creator plan, 34, 39, somewhere in there, depending on if you do annual or not. It regardless, you do everything as you did before, right? You apply. So I put my voice in there. I applied it to all the tracks, and I applied the music as needed. And congratulations, I just replaced myself. And this is what the clone. Now I did the trailer script over again, only instead of Dominic, now it's me as the narrator. Let's take a listen.
When employees arrived to work for the morning shift at a Georgetown Starbucks in July 1997, no one expected to find 3 of their fellow baristas brutally slain.
That is just
With
great.
the doors locked, no money taken, and no obvious motives, police had little to go on. That was until a break in the case turned a sinister triple homicide into the search for a serial killer at large in the nation's capital.
There you go. That is cloned. That is my voice cloned. That is so weird. That is the so surreal thing in the whole world to hear that. Now, I have a bonus. This is a bonus test where we played around with voices and narrator, voices the host. What happens if you try to build an audio drama from all this? So you do the same thing, only the script writing thing gets really complicated where you're bouncing back and forth between this character and that character. And I had three men and one woman voice in there. I had Liam, Scott, Jennifer, and Dominic. I brought Dominic back. He has my narrator. I have Liam and Scott are the two detectives, and Jennifer is the delivery girl who was there at 2 a.m. to drop off the pastries, and they figure out how the door got locked. It's one of the breaks in the case. And you apply the AI voice to the correct lines, and the music becomes very strange. You can add your own music if you want to, as long as you have the rights to it. Um, and then you can publish an audio drama scene. And congratulations, you can replace yourself and the cast. And this is what an audio drama would sound like if it was all done with AI. Let's take a listen. We'll skip ahead a little bit.
Detective Jim Trainum and FBI delivery driver after the murders.
Officers, anything I can do to help.
You made a delivery there around 2 a.m., correct?
Yes, that's right. It's part of my regular route.
And when you arrived, how did you find the store?
I came in through the front door. So I used my key to get in. Like usual.
Was the door locked?
I think so. I'm sorry. It's always dark, so I always use my key.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, the inflections are weird in some places, and sometimes they say lines that if as a director you would say, "Ah, no, don't say that." But you could replace your whole cast with AI, and you might be able to get away with it. You could probably replace a couple cast members, maybe maybe some background people. You could have definitely some B-roll or stuff in the background with AI voices. There are some huge possibilities here. Is it any good? We'll see. But that is my secret little bonus test. That will be in the link also. I'll have at the end here in just a few seconds. Now, I have some observations and some conclusions about this. The risk, John Connor's watching y'all make friends with AI. Can you tell a difference? Maybe. Does it matter to your audience if you clone yourself? Time will tell. Do your clones all sound the same? Maybe. Maybe you have to reclone yourself over time. Better examples. Maybe you have to teach the computer better. And can you do this? Yes. Should you do this? I don't know. And that's my final conclusion about this whole thing is the Ian Malcolm line from Jurassic Park. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not you could, they didn't stop to think if you should. And it resonates with me, especially with AI. Is yeah, you can do some of these things, but should you do some of these things? This podcast, do listeners want this? I don't know, but time will tell. So that's my talk. I want you to tell your story, and if you have to use AI to tell your story, I want you to do that. And if you have some questions, maybe I went too fast, or you want to know some of the more nuances of this, please, by all means, reach out to me, gagglepod@gmail.com. And there is the link on the screen, oncetold.us/podfest. I have tons of stuff there. It's all free. Don't need your email. Just go there and you can listen to all these AI episodes in their totality. They're only like 3 or 4 minutes long each one. And you be the judge and let me know what you think. I would love to hear from you. And thank you for your time, and thank you for participating in the Podfest AI Masterclass. And I hope you learned something. Take care.